What is up, my friends? Hope you're having a great day. Chris back again, and this time I'm talking about Master of the Flying Guillotine from 1976, directed by Jimmy Wang Yu. So, dude and dudettes, this movie is one of my favorite all-time kung fu movies ever. We've got Enter the Dragon, Fists of Fury, 36 Chambers of the Shaolin, Five Deadly Venoms. We've got all those different kung fu movies, that we grew up watching and enjoying. But this one here holds a special place in my heart just because it's so freaking absurd. It was like Kung Fu Hustle before Kung Fu Hustle was a twinkle in its director's eye or its writer's eye. You know what I mean? This movie deals with, so we have a sensei, a master of the flying guillotine whose disciples are murdered by the one-armed boxer, right? And so when they get killed by the one-armed boxer, uh, they have a message sent to their blind master, who then decides he's going to go find this one-armed boxer and avenge his students with his weapon, the flying guillotine. So basically, it looks like Kung Lao's hat from Mortal Kombat on a chain. He throws it, it goes over their head, and then he jerks it, and poof, their head pops off, right? It's just silly. Like, when the people's heads pop off, there's no blood, no nothing. You just see poo, and it just falls over. It's ridiculous. But I love that when the sensei is on screen, he has this like almost like Mortal Kombat theme when he's walking. It's really cool. It's like he has a soundtrack in and of him, like to himself. When he shows up in a scene, you hear this like it's almost like techno back in the day, but it's really good, and I love that, and I love the fact that it's so over the top. Like, he gets so mad at the beginning, he's like and then jumps through his roof and lands outside, and he's like, I'm about to off some people's heads, off with their head, and it's really good. And another thing I like about this movie, so he goes to this tournament, and there's all these different people from around the world in this tournament. And a lot of the inspiration for characters from the Street Fighter 2 video game came from Master of the Flying Guillotine. We have an Indian guy whose arms stretch, right? We've got another guy who's a Muay Thai fighter. He's a Thai fighter, and he's, doing his special moves and stuff. And then we've got the guy with the guillotine. It's just, there's such a eclectic group of characters that all have their individual charms, and you want to see fight and succeed. There's a scene where he fights a guy on like a burning floor, and the guy's feet are getting burned up, and the special effects, it looks like they put panko breading on his feet, but it's cool. Like, I dig it. They did what they could with what they had, and I loved it. I thought that was awesome. But I love the kung fu in this. In fact, I love the sound editing the most, because when they punch, it sounds like distant thunder. Like, it's so funny, because in most kung fu movies it's stuff like that. This is like every time they would punch, so it made it sound more forceful, I guess. It was silly, but awesome. I loved that. So this is one this is one of those films that it doesn't really stand the test of time, but it's a time capsule. You know what I mean? Because it takes you back to a time where you're seeing these, someone had an idea to make a kung fu movie, but make it more fantastical than what we've seen, and it paid off. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of people who haven't seen or at least heard of Master of the Flying Guillotine, but for the ones who haven't seen it, you guys need to check it out for sure, especially if you love old kung fu movies. It used to get shown on El Rey all the time back when I actually had cable. But yeah, I love the style and nuances of this film. I think it almost, maybe I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself, but it feels like it ushered in a new era of kung fu films in the late 70s. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like it really attributed to some pop culture things and to some other avenues of media and things like that. It transcended just being a kung fu movie. Sorry about that hiccup, guys. I ran out of space, had to delete some stuff so I could get back to conversing with you guys. So anyway, it transcended your generic kung fu movie. You know what I mean? And it ushered in a new era. And I think that speaks volumes for this movie's, you know, testament, or maybe not testament, but its contribution to cinema and to kung fu films. But overall, I loved this movie. I love this movie. I think it definitely should be watched by everyone. If you guys want to check it out, I caught it streaming on Tubi, so you can find it over there if you want to give it a shot. I give it probably 4.5 out of 5 stars because again, it's one of my favorites from growing up until now. Like even now when I watch it, even though it's terrible looking and it has some silliness to it, the film quality isn't great, but the story itself and the way that it's executed are phenomenal and definitely worth a watch. So check it out if you want to, guys. Streaming on Tubi. Um, if you want to get connected with more Cinema Dolce 56 content, like and subscribe. If you want to get connected into a group with Cinema Dolce 56, go to Facebook and join the Cinema Dolce group. And for all my TikTokers out there who watch me, if you want more stuff that I don't necessarily post on TikTok, come over to YouTube to the Cinema Dolce 56 channel and like and subscribe to get other updates and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, I'm going to keep making them as long as you keep watching them. Hope you guys have a great day. I love you. God bless. And peace out.